All right, and so now I'll go over your individual circumstances, and I'm gonna do post 3 first, then post 2, and then 1. So that'll be the order we go in. All right, Ms. Tovar Gonzalez. All right, so your charge is a Class B misdemeanor driving while intoxicated. The range of punishment for this, if you're found guilty, is a minimum of 72 hours in jail, up to 180 days in jail, and up to a $2,000 fine. Your bail is set at $3,000. Do you want a court-appointed lawyer? Oh, there you are. You moved on me. Do you want a court-appointed lawyer or do you plan to hire a lawyer?
I probably have a lawyer. Sorry, I'm a
You're gonna
hire
hire
lawyer.
someone?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right, so do you have any references
Mm.
that
Uh,
pretrial could call to see if we could do a personal bond?
Yes, ma'am. My boyfriend,
Okay, his name,
Anthony Rose.
phone number?
I don't know his number by memory.
Okay, do you have any phone numbers? Because that's gonna be the key. And who's that for?
My sister,
And what is her name?
Anna Tovar.
Okay, anybody else?
I could do my mom,
Okay,
Rosa Gonzalez.
Rosa?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you not, it looks like. Did you not remember those numbers when pretrial talked to you or?
I just don't, I'm not sure if those are like the correct numbers. It should be those, but I can't like for sure say those are the right numbers.
Okay, all right. So if those check out, there's not any other reason not to do a personal bond. This is something that I would typically do a personal bond. So we'll see what happens. If not, you can post bond and get out. Probably have to come up with $300, $300 to $600 or something probably, but you would, to do that, you need to go through a bail bond company. There's either numbers by the phone or they have a sheet that you can look at and then make phone calls or get your family to do that.
Okay, for the numbers, like if they do check out, when will I know if I can't get a PR bond?
Well, if they call the numbers and they're good and they reach the people and are able to find out in the next couple of hours, but if not, if they don't, it'd be when they call back or whatever. So
Okay,
they'd
yes, ma'am.
might want to post bond if that's what you want.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Any questions? Any other? Thank you. Okay, is it Nina Level? All right. Right, and then who is Miss Celadon Sanchez? Okay, and then Miss Venegas? Okay, so all three of you qualify for a personal bond. I'll go through your information with you, but when I get to the personal bond part, if y'all would listen to that the same information will apply, okay? All right, so your charge is a Class A misdemeanor assault causing bodily injury. Includes family violence. The range of punishment for this, if you're found guilty, is a fine not to exceed $4,000, and a jail term not to exceed 1 year or both. And for everyone, as I go over the range of punishment, if you're found guilty, it may be that probation or some other type of program is available. I'm just giving you the range of punishment that the law sets out. All right, your bail's set at $4,000, but you do qualify for a personal bond. And then did you want a court-appointed lawyer or do you plan to hire a lawyer?
I don't know. I don't know. Can we go ahead and give me a court-appointed one for now?
You can always hire someone if you decide to do that. It looks like you do qualify.
Okay.
All right, do you promise to appear for your court hearings? And do you understand if you fail to appear, you could end up with a warrant or capias for your arrest?
No, I didn't have, I'll be here.
Did you know that's what,
Yes.
okay. So since you qualify for a lawyer, you should hear from a lawyer in the next few days. If you haven't, then you probably would want to call the number on your bond paperwork or look online to see if you can tell. But I would start talking to people to figure out how I find out who my lawyer is. Okay. You should get released in the next 4 to 6 hours, depending on how busy they are.
Okay.
And when you get released on your bond paperwork, there'll be a court date that's about 3 weeks from now. So make sure that you're showing up for that and don't miss that. If you need to make a phone call, you can request to do that when you get back to your post.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, Miss Celadon Sanchez. All right, your charge is a state jail felony, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. The range of punishment for this, if you're found guilty, is a fine not to exceed $10,000 and a state jail term of 6 months to 2 years. Your bail is set at $7,000. Do you want a court-appointed lawyer or do you plan to hire a lawyer?
I think it's court appointed. If I get a court appointed, will I still be able to get out?
Yes. So do you promise to appear for your court hearings?
Yes.
Do you understand if you fail to appear, you could end up with the warrant or capias for your
Yes.
arrest? On your paperwork, you'll have a court date in about 3 weeks. If you need to make a phone call, you can request to do that. 4 to 6 hours, you should be released. Start looking for a call from your lawyer or finding out who your lawyer is
Okay.
in the next week or so, okay?
Okay. If I
Yeah.
don't, I can just get a hire a lawyer if I can't find out who they are.
Well, you should be able to find out who the lawyer is.
Okay.
But if you want to hire a lawyer, you can hire a lawyer, but you
Okay.
should be able to find out who your lawyer is.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
any other questions?
No, I guess I can ask the attorney.
Yeah. We're just doing Clara, why am I here and how can I get out? All right, and then Miss Venegas. All right, your charge is a Class B misdemeanor, driving while intoxicated. The range of punishment for this, if you're found guilty, is a minimum of 72 hours in jail, up to 180 days in jail, and up to a $2,000 fine. Your bail is set at $3,000. Do you want a court-appointed lawyer or do you plan to hire a lawyer?
I'll take a court.
So just so you know, on this form that was filled out, it says you don't qualify, but I don't see why that would be the case. So you may not get a call from a lawyer. You may have to call Travis County Court Administration, find out what you need to do, or show up to court and ask for a court-appointed lawyer.
Okay.
And for those of you who are going through this, as I get to you, if it applies to you, it's probably a good idea to make 2 or 3 phone calls to lawyers, get an idea of the cost, because a judge may say, you say, I can't afford it, judge may say, well, what's it gonna cost? You know, you've got to show some effort, to show that you can't. I would think you could get one, but just gotta kind of go through the steps and make sure. And then, do you promise to appear for your court hearings?
Yes.
And do you understand if you fail to appear, you could end up with a warrant or capias for your arrest?
Yes.
Okay. And then you've heard all about 4-6 hours, you're gonna have a court date 3 weeks. You can make a phone call if you need to do that when you get back. Okay,
Okay,
all right, thank you. And if y'all give me just a minute, so that's all of that post, right?
To take for the inspector yourself. I have a question. So if they do answer the phone numbers that I give you, I can get released within 46 hours.
If everything seems good, like they don't say something that makes me concerned, that would not be a good thing. Okay.
But if it's good, and you just sign those, yes, they come right on. And these are. Yes,
Michael Carruthers. Your charge is a Class B misdemeanor, driving while intoxicated. The range of punishment for this, if you're found guilty, is a minimum of 72 hours in jail, up to 180 days in jail, and up to a $2,000 fine. Your bail's set at $3,000. You want a court-appointed lawyer, or do you plan to hire a lawyer?
Court appointed.
And the information I have shows you have pending cases as well.
Pending cases from where?
Let me see. It's in Bastrop County. And you've got court settings of March the 4th,
Yes,
what
no,
it looks like. So, I'm not, and I see what the charges are. I'm not willing to do a personal bond, but you probably only have to come up with.
well, I'm on SSI, so I can't afford
Okay.
to get out of jail. So what I'm asking is, I've been going to court down there, if you could see, for 6 years. I have been going to court. And so I don't see why I couldn't apply for a personal bond.
Well, you can apply for one. The problem is these settings.
Those are, I set up a trial. The charges that's in Bastrop been set for trial. And so, like I said, I've been going to court 6 years now for those cases. And I haven't missed one court date. And so, like I told him, I was shot about like 3 years ago. And when they did blood work, they took blood work for my DWI. And I told him I couldn't perform any of those balance tests, but he still arrested me anyway. So I don't see why I wouldn't couldn't apply for personal bond.
Well,
I'm on SSI, man. I don't
I
have.
understand. You may be able to get the lawyer to be able to get you one. I don't feel comfortable doing it today.
I'm not a,
Let me look at it. I'll look at it here in just a second. I understand. I had,
I'm not a threat. I've been going to court. If you can look at it, you see it's been 6 years on
okay,
those charges.
let me think about it. This is something I would give a personal bond for, but the problem is this- you've
It-
got some serious charges.
I know, but I've been going for 6 years, ma'am, and I haven't been in no trouble since then, besides this DWI.
Okay.
And this is my first DWI ever. I never had a DWI in my life. I'm 52 years old. I'm not in the best of health.
Okay, I'll think about it while we're in here.
Please,
before you
thank
leave,
you, thank
Okay.
you.
All right, Mr. Kane. All right, and then who's Mr. Frazier?
Good morning, Your Honor.
But you just sit down there. I just want to know who's who, because Alvario. Okay. And Torres. And Taylor. All right, so y'all all qualify for a personal bond. So when I go through the information with Mr. Kane, if you would listen to the part about the personal bond, so when it's your turn, that may answer your questions, okay? But I'll certainly answer any questions you have. All right, so Mr. Kane, your charge is a Class A misdemeanor assault causing bodily injury. The range of punishment for this, if you're found guilty, is a fine not to exceed $4,000 and a jail term not to exceed 1 year or both. Your bail is set at $5,000. Bond conditions are to participate in an alcohol evaluation, no threatening or harassing behavior or contact toward the complaining witness. And then where do you live?
I'm about to move out. That's where I live with me and my brother. So I just today, like, I need to figure out where. I'm
Is
gonna
that
move it.
Slayton Drive or?
No, ma'am. Like Brentwood area, like 10 minutes north.
All right, and so you can find another place to live?
Yes, ma'am. Promise. Won't ever happen again. Actually, a family member, half brother.
Yes.
And I've been trying to call him, but nobody's answering my phone. So I know that you need to call people, but no one's gonna answer my phone calls for me. So
Well, and I looked at this and
I mean, he's an older brother, like he's 35 years old, 23 years old. You know what I mean? So
all right, so while the case is pending, you need to stay away from that address,
yes, ma'am.
okay? And then you need to make decisions about whether if y'all ever need to live together again. But right now, you don't need to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want a court-appointed lawyer or do you plan to hire a lawyer?
Could I get a court appointed, please?
You do qualify. Do you promise to appear for your court hearings?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand if you fail to appear, you could end up with a warrant or capias for your arrest?
Yes, ma'am.
Court date in about 3 weeks. Look on your paperwork. You should get a call from a lawyer.
Sounds good.
If you haven't heard from somebody in a week, you probably need to start calling or looking online, figure out who your lawyer is, reach out to your lawyer. You should be released in the next 4 to 6 hours. And if you need to make a phone call, you can request to do that.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Frazier. Your charge is Class A misdemeanor driving while intoxicated. The range of punishment for this, if you're found guilty, is a fine not to exceed $4,000 and a jail term not to exceed 1 year or both. Your bail is set at $3,500. You have to participate in an alcohol evaluation. Do you want a court-appointed lawyer or do you plan to hire a lawyer?
I would like to hire a lawyer.
Do you promise to appear for your court hearings? And do you understand if you fail to appear, you could end up with a warrant or capias for your arrest?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I'll appear.
Court date in about 3 weeks. Look on your paperwork. Lawyer, let me make sure. Did I see you? You do qualify. Lawyer should reach out to you, but you're gonna hire your lawyer.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Okay, so get your lawyer in place before court if you're able to do that. 4 to 6 hours to be released. Ask to make a phone call if you need to do that.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No. Come on.
All right, thank you. Alvario? Your charge is a Class B misdemeanor driving while intoxicated. The range of punishment for this, if you're found guilty, is a minimum of 72 hours in jail, up to 180 days in jail, and up to a $2,000 fine. Your bail is set at $3,000. You have, as a bond condition, supervision, and they can do random UAs. Do you, want a court-appointed lawyer, or do you plan to hire a lawyer?
Court appointed.
You do qualify. Do you promise to appear for your court hearings? And do you understand if you fail to appear, you could end up with a warrant or capias for your arrest? Yes.
Good to know.
So, on, court date in about 3 weeks on your paperwork, lawyer should reach out to you. You should find your lawyer in a week or so if you haven't heard from them. Be released 4 to 6 hours. And if you need to make a phone call, you can request to do that. Do you have any questions? Okay, thank you. Mr. Torres?
Warning.
Okay, your charge is a Class B misdemeanor driving while intoxicated. The range of punishment for this, if you're found guilty, is a minimum of 72 hours in jail, up to 180 days in jail, and up to a $2,000 fine. Your bail is set at $3,000. You have to participate in a misdemeanor drug evaluation, and also you'll have supervision with random UAs. Do you want a court-appointed lawyer, or do you plan to hire a lawyer?
Can I get a court appointed lawyer, and can I hire a lawyer at the same time too, or that's not allowed?
No, you could, I'll put on,
Just so I can figure out pricing when I get out. I don't know if I'll be able to,
I'll put your requesting one. If you decide to hire one, then you're able to do that.
okay.
Okay. And then do you promise to appear for your court hearings?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand if you fail to appear, you could end up with a warrant or capias for your arrest?
Yes, ma'am.
Court date in about 3 weeks on your paperwork. Get your lawyer situation figured out, be released in 4 to 6 hours. If you need to make a phone call, you can request to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions?
If 4 to 6 hours, can I like bail out right now after this?
If you want to, I mean, it costs you money to do that,
Yeah.
but if you want to do that, you can.
But can I get like my debit card for like my belongings and pay and
Does he need to, would he need to talk to his post officer or what?
Um,
To have access to,
To get your debit card to the Belmont's company.
yeah.
So, the Belmont's company don't know what to do, but they're gonna request your property, your ballot pouch. We'll have like your jewelry, your keys, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you have to take the whole thing. You can't take individual items out of your ballot pouch.
Also take the whole thing.
It would take the whole thing, so you'd end up having to pick it up
Okay.
wherever it is.
Got you. But you said the PR and 4 to 6 hours,
it's free.
I'll be out. I'll just wait.
Any other questions?
Is my license suspended right now or?
I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
So, whatever they may, if it is, they went over that with you.
Oh, yeah, I saw it here, but I guess I haven't been charged yet, so I guess it's still active, right? I'm a delivery driver, so I depend on my license a lot. So,
You'll have to talk to your lawyer to see what that is, and if you need to get some kind of special license to be able to
okay,
continue driving.
sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. And then Mr. Taylor? Your charge is a Class B misdemeanor driving while intoxicated. The range of punishment for this, if you're found guilty, is a minimum of 72 hours in jail, up to 180 days in jail, and up to a $2,000 fine. Your bail set at $3,000. Do you want a court-appointed lawyer or do you plan to hire a lawyer?
I'll take a court appointment.
This says that you may not qualify. So again, you'll have to maybe call court administration, show it for court, ask the judge to get appointed lawyer, okay? If you don't hear from somebody that says they've been appointed, because I think it could go either way. I think you might be able to get one. All right, do you promise to appear for your court hearings?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand if you fail to appear, you could end up with a warrant or capias for your arrest?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Court date in about 3 weeks, release 4 to 6 hours. If you need to make a phone call, let them know. And you're gonna figure out your lawyer situation or show up for court.
And I got a PR bond right now, right?
Correct.
And then I just got one more question too, though. Whenever I got pulled over and I get the breathalyzer, I blew below the legal amount. So how I still get DWI?
A judge signed it, and so it's not just based on the amount, that's a presumption
All right.
but it's also based on the actions before. So talk to your lawyer about it.
For sure.
All right, thank you. All right. Okay, Mr. Crothers.
But I just wanted to say that what I'm going through on that court thing, that's a verbal assault. Verbal. assault.
Okay, well,
The-
you don't need to, let me just think about this a sec. Are you working or
I'm on disability.
disability? Okay. And have you lived where do you live? Do you have a place to live?
Yeah, been there for 5 years.
5 years. And who's your lawyer for this case?
Neil Piper in Bastrop.
Mhm.
Yeah, Neil Piper.
And were you aware you had court on March the?
Yeah, I've been going for 6 years. I said it put trial like 6 months ago.
All right, do you promise to appear for your court hearings?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand if you fail to appear, you could end up with a warrant or capias for your arrest?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You do qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, so you should hear from someone. But if you don't, then start asking questions, figure out who your lawyer is, or show up for court. Court date in about 3 weeks on your paperwork. And released in 4 to 6 hours. If you need to make a phone call, you can request to do that. Any questions?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. So that's all of those 2, right? Right, Mr. Elliott. All right, you have a 2nd-degree felony aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The range of punishment for this, if you're found guilty, is a fine not to exceed $10,000 and a jail term of not more than 20 years nor less than 2 years or both. Your bail is set at $20,000. Bond conditions are a family violence evaluation, emergency protective order, may not possess firearms, GPS in jail, you have to get it on before you could be released, supervision through pretrial services. Do you want a court-appointed lawyer or do you plan to hire a lawyer?
I gotta hire a lawyer on my ongoing cases. I'm gonna see what he can charge me to get on this case.
Okay,
But if I qualify for a court appointed lawyer, you can put a court appointed lawyer on the case until I see how much he wants for this case.
Yeah, you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer. Do you want to?
Yeah, you can put a quarter point on it.
Okay.
I just don't see how I'm being charged with aggravated assault, man. I'm outside on camera the whole time, no weapon. It's just me trying to leave a female.
Well, there's allegation there was a weapon, so you need to talk to your lawyer about
So
all
they
that.
found a weapon? It said they found a weapon?
My memory is that there was one inside. And there was a witness, so talk to your lawyer. Just because the charge is what it is, doesn't mean that's how it ends up. You can also talk to your lawyer about getting your bail reduced if you're not able to post bond at this amount.
I understand there's a weapon in the charge, so I'm being charged with weapon as well, felony possession of firearm.
No, just aggravated assault with a deadly weapon is all the charges.
Alright.
So that's it, and then talk to your lawyer about what your options are. Okay.
Do I have a parole hold?
No, if you may, I don't, I need to go over your emergency protection order. If you hang on just a second. See if it's, I thought I saw something, but I don't know if it's an actual hold. I don't see anything that shows a hold. But, I mean, that, those can pop up at some point, so. So let me go over this emergency protection order with you. This is for the protection of Isabella Garrett. You're prohibited from committing family violence or an assault, any type of stalking or trafficking offense regarding her. You cannot have any communication with her except through a person appointed by the court or through an attorney. You're prohibited from communicating directly with her or a member of the household in a threatening or harassing manner, or communicating a threat through someone else to her. You're prohibited from possessing a firearm, both as for the EPO and a bond condition, and then a violation of this could result in a new charge. This is in effect until midnight of May the 1st, 2024, but your bond conditions are in effect until a judge changes them or the case is over. So
How do
those
I
are
get-
two separate
How do I get
things.
the restraining order then?
How do you get it lifted?
But she got all my money, she got all my stuff, my car, my clothes, my shoes, you know what I'm saying, my church, she got everything for her. And like,
Well-
she like, when I came to jail, she just like after she told them what she said I did, then she like, they put me in cuffs, she like, man, what did he do wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like, she was just bad. She didn't want to leave. So she got all of my shit. She got everything. It ain't no way I can't. She got my child. You know what I'm saying?
Talk to your lawyer about it, and then you can always have somebody that you trust that you know is not going to cause a problem, and go meet her somewhere or pick
She's
stuff
the
up.
one that deal with my lawyers and everything. You know what I'm saying? She deal with everything.
Well, then that person will be able to help you figure out what to do. Okay? Because today I've got a really serious charge right here. So I've got to do this. The law requires me to do an
Yeah.
EPO.
All right.
Okay.